Good morning. Thank you very much, first of all, for this unique, extraordinary opportunity. Our business model is actually very simple. What we do is keep the source of consumption and production closest to each other. You can just turn on the slide, please, the next one. So we started the journey, believe it or not, in 2018 in France. And the use case was given to us by Orange, the mobile operator over there, to create something for the chef community. Because if you know the Montmartre district in particular, there are a lot of small chef-owned restaurants, but they all struggle to order what we call fresh food, because by the time the chef can only order is well past midnight and there's nobody he can talk to. He doesn't have the patience to go on a computer or anything like that. So all he does is typically call into a voicemail and say, I need these things for tomorrow. Whereas around Paris, there's a lot of small farms. So what we did was on an application, we connected those farms with the chefs in Montmartre, and that was the humble beginning of Fresh on Table. We came to UAE in 2019, of course, encouraged by the whole initiative on food security. And I think since then, it's been an absolute game changer. So what we do is basically deliver freshness with minimum emissions. So if you look at what we do, first of all, we cut the carbon emissions in a big way. We actually have now given the real-time visibility to our partners. They can monitor at any point of time by all the ordering they're doing, how much are they saving on the carbon footprint. And the next thing is, of course, suffice to say, it also helps them meet the ESG objectives of the agenda. Freshness ensures high nutrition value, which is something which I think everybody looks for. On the farm side, we've done a lot more. I think we've promoted the local agri community in a very big way, which had practically no visibility before. We have excellent data points, which we then share with them in terms of their product development. And I think we can say with pride, we have developed Brussels sprouts with these farms. We developed strawberries, blueberries, and so many nice things in UAE, which most people still find very hard to believe. We have also given them an excellent tech access by way of colloquially a mini ERP, which helps them manage their inventory, credit, data points, and so on and so forth. Now, what does this lead to? Of course, it also leads to a big impact on the zero waste aspiration for any chef, because we all know that when a food comes fresh, it has a very limited impact in terms of wastage in the kitchen. This, of course, goes to say it supports sustainability and food security, to say the very least. And lastly, we meet the 4 objectives of SDGs, which I think is absolutely unique for an agri-tech company at this stage in life here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, if you look around, there are several local markets, local producers, small shop owners. They claim to have fresh produce and at extremely competitive prices. So, I mean, just take onion as an example. You get it around for like 2 dirhams. You might have it for 4 dirhams. So do you see this as a big impediment in actually deploying fresh to table?
Great question. So let me tell you, when we started, there's a huge gap between what was being imported and what was being locally grown. And I think it's all because we always unit economics here. But 2 things helped. One was, of course, the pandemic. Because the whole supply chain disruption, the price of imported produce also started going up significantly. And lastly, when large players like Hilton and Atlantis and all that got involved in this whole initiative, the economics changed totally, because now we certainly had a huge demand, which then led the farmers to increase their production, which of course, suffice to say, led to a decrease in prices. But the point about everybody claiming to have local fresh, what we do also is, in a very, very unique way, give them a complete track and trace. So we walk the talk on technology. Everything goes into a blockchain. We use IoTs in a big way. So we actually give a QR code, and you can track the whole journey, going all the way to the time when it was harvested, what temperature, what humidity it's been through, and finally when it comes to your table. It's a very, very unique guest experience. And I think today is all about storytelling. So if you tell the guest that this is something you're eating, the tomatoes, for instance, I think everybody knows the tomatoes come from wherever they come from, but a fresh tomato has a very different flavor and taste here. So when you scan the QR code and say, oh, this is a tomato, which was actually harvested same morning, actually, because in our model we have 0 storage. Everything is harvested fresh. Let me tell you, it's an absolutely fantastic experience here.
So I'm going to challenge what Rohan said. He said you might be more expensive than locals. what if it's the opposite? How local is local? So if I'm used to buying tomatoes from our local place, which sells them for 4, but because you're providing this local digital marketplace, where somewhere which isn't so local, but you're making it local, and they sell it for 3 dirhams or for 3 riyals, for example.
No, so we don't do anything which is B2C so far. We only do Horeca. So it's fairly transparent in that sense. Yeah.
Very excellent.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.